A little while ago, I got my period back after not having gotten it for almost a year, and today I want to share the 5 things that I think have contributed to it coming back. So, if you're currently maybe not getting your period, then maybe one of those 5 things can help you, or if you're just curious, because yeah, I think it's an interesting topic. And for a long time, I thought maybe the reason I didn't get it anymore was because of raw food, even though I have been on a predominantly raw diet for like 5 years and I have always gotten it. So then the 5 or 6 weeks leading up to me getting my period back, I was actually eating the most amount of raw food that I have in a long time, where most of my meals were fully raw. Maybe I had 4 or 5 times like some cooked food, like a block of tofu or a little bit of rice in my salad, so just small minor things, or some like nuts that maybe weren't fully raw. So most of it was raw and I got it back, so it's definitely not the raw food. And yeah, today I'm going to share what I think it was. And the first one, probably the biggest one, was stress. So I have been experiencing quite a bit of stress leading up to me losing it, and then also during the time of not getting it. And yeah, due to work and just a lot of pressure at work. And then when I started removing that stress from my life, I think that has been a very, very big contributing factor to me getting back, because as a female, if you're under a lot of stress, especially when you're working while you're on your period and there is a lot of pressure, I'm not sure if that's like that healthy of an environment to be in while you're bleeding. Because even though when you eat a clean and healthy diet, you can still experience pretty good energy levels while you're on your period, it's still a time where your body is detoxifying and where it maybe needs a little bit more rest. And I think it makes sense from like an evolutionary standpoint, because as a female, we need a very, very healthy body when we're conceiving a child so that we can have that child to be healthy. So it's amazing that we have implanted in our body a system that cleanses our body every single month, helps it detoxify heavy metals and things that it just needs to get rid of in order to experience an optimal level of health. Of course, the environment we're living in isn't ideal for our human body, so there's still going to be toxins accumulating even if we are bleeding every month. But I think it does definitely help remove a big chunk of it so that we can stay healthy and eventually conceive a healthy child as well. The second factor is calories. So I started eating a little bit more fat, which I'm going to get to in the next point, but also just more dates and making smoothies denser with dates and avocado, nuts and stuff like that. And the third one is also I started increasing my fat intake. So if you know my channel, you know that I am a big proponent and lover of the 80-10-10 diet, which is a ratio of 80% carbs, 10% fat, 10% protein. I'm not like strictly saying, okay, it has to be 10% every day, but just a rough thing where you are keeping your fat and protein intake quite low, just because it's quite hard for the body to digest, versus carbohydrates are very, very easy to digest. And another amazing benefit of keeping your fat intake low is that you're not running into any blood sugar problems, into any candida problems if you start eating more fruit and more sugar from the fruit. So yeah, I have found amazing energy levels, performance when it comes to fitness by keeping the fat low, because my body can actually absorb all the sugar from the fruit, all the carbs from the 80% carbs that I'm putting into my tank, versus whenever I've gone like above 30% with my fat, I could eat all the fruit I want. It just wouldn't make me feel and perform that excellent level that I know from following 80-10-10. And at the same time, I think it's also important to make sure you take care of your hormone levels and everything is in check and in balance. And maybe I was going a little bit too low with my fat, like completely excluding overt fats for periods. And I think if you have a certain health issue, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to make any recommendations, but it can be helpful. But if your health is fine, like there's no need to completely exclude overt fats, or, I've been keeping them fairly low. And in the month leading up to my period, I have experimented with maybe going up to 15% per day. I mean, I haven't tracked it, but like eating a whole avocado every day, and then maybe on top of that, even some nuts or a little bit of seeds. And yeah, keeping it higher. And not only has it helped me maybe with my hormones and my period, even though I think the biggest contributing factor still was the stress and the thing that I'm going to mention as the last thing. But definitely not only has it helped me with that, but also my skin got more soft. And also, I don't know, I just feel like I don't feel that hungry anymore. Like you just generally feel a bit more satiated. But at the same time, I think it's also really, really important to not go overboard so that you still have energy to function. Because personally, if I go too high with my fat, my energy levels are just, I don't know, not the best. And I still like to have a lot of energy to get things done in life and to do things and be active, move, exercise, because all that stuff is really, really important for, I think, our overall well-being, also for our mental and emotional health. And then when I started getting my period back, I also did a little bit of research just because it was really important to me that it keeps coming back, which it ended up doing. And I have thought that it maybe is a good idea, now that my body wasn't used to bleeding for some month, that maybe I want to supplement with a little bit of iron. Now, I think it's really, really important to know that supplements is not something we would find in nature. And personally, I'm not a big proponent of supplement. You know me. I do take B12 every single day, and I want to mention it more in my videos because I think it's so important to do that. If you don't grow food yourself and you live in a modern, sanitized world, then B12 can be deficient in a lot of the foods we eat. Unless you eat animal products where the cows get the B12 injected, unnaturally too, and you basically take it in through that, which is fine as well. But if you eat a vegan diet like I am and you don't get that, then definitely always, of course, make sure with your doctor, get your blood tests checked. I got my blood tests checked a while ago and they're good now, but they haven't always been. But I have been supplementing the last few years with B12, so that's important. But now back to the topic of getting your period back. Supplementing iron has shown to help women to continue getting it back, and also, support the body in that first period to kind of get the ball rolling again. And once it's rolling, I don't think I'll continue taking it. But yeah, and I have also found a really, really clean brand. It's called Biogena. So yeah, I also reached out to them. This is not sponsored. I don't get any money from them for this, but I do get a small commission if you buy it through my link. And I also have a discount code for you because I reached out to them to see if I can get one for all my viewers. And it is JuliaSana10. So you can get 10% off if you want to get iron supplements as well. But again, like if you're getting your period and everything's good, you really don't need this. This is only if you're struggling. And again, I think ultimately we wouldn't need it. It's just to put things back into balance, or with the B12, because we do live in this modern sanitized world where things aren't the way they're supposed to be. We can kind of counterbalance that imbalance in taking a supplement. So yeah, most people I know on this lifestyle take B12, and I have zero pride anymore. Like I used to take pride in not taking any supplements, and I get it all from my diet, and I do get a lot from my diet, and my blood tests are amazing. But yeah, the B12, I just think it's something really important. Okay, now enough talk about the supplements, and now the last point I want to mention, and this is probably the most profoundly powerful, is emotions. And most importantly, trapped emotions. And I have found that having trapped emotions can actually lead to you losing your period. And the way emotions become trapped is when we are experiencing a lot of stress or trauma in life. And there was a period in my life when I was actually 14 or 15 where I have lost it. That was completely before I started diving into raw food and fruit-based diet. It was just certain things, certain traumas happening in my life and me losing it. And then 2 or 3 years later, I met a friend and he introduced me to the book by Dr. Brantley Nelson. It's called The Emotion Code, and it's basically a book that talks about how when we experience stress, trauma, then that can cause physical bodily blockages, and those can be removed with the emotion code. It's a very complex process and I don't want to get deeper into this, but if you're interested in it, then you can either reach out to me. I have like my WhatsApp in the description box, or you can read the book, The Emotion Code. But I can definitely share more about it via voicemail to you. And basically with this process, you can remove the trapped emotions, and I have gotten them removed back in the days when I met my friend and he introduced me to the book, and literally a day later I got my period back. Like, it was crazy. And then I had it for some while, and then like about 1.5 years ago I a little bit less lost it again, and I removed those trapped emotions like 3 weeks leading up to me getting it back, and then it came back. I think this time it was definitely also the trapped emotions, but also the other factors I mentioned. But yeah, and the emotion code, you can also find an app in the App Store if you want to get an overview of all the emotions that exist. And you can tap on the different charts, and then you can see what those emotions are. Again, it's very complex. I don't want to get too much into it in this video, but definitely make sure to check out the book, or maybe you can also find a video about the book on YouTube, or reach out to me. I'd love to share more about it and chat about it. And other than that, if you want to learn about the uncomfortable truth of eating a raw vegan diet, make sure to check out this video and maybe see you there. Bye.